Hey everybody, welcome to our team call for May. It is May 7th, 2019, and we have a super special guest tonight. She is a fellow Diesel Nation coach. Her name is Maddie. She is a badass. Let me meet somebody here. Okay, so Maddie is a rock star. I will just read you some of her accolades and you will be blown away by what she's accomplished in such a short amount of time. And she is going to inspire the F out of all of us. Even me, being in this business for 6 years, I'm just like, please give me your energy. Like, give me what you got, girl. So Maddie is 22 years old. She is about to graduate from college. She is a student athlete and a badass, like, at it. She is 19 months in this business only, so that is like nothing. She is currently 1-star qualifying, so that is a huge deal. She is a Success Club 10 All-Star, which means she has at least 12 months consecutively in Success Club 10, which is helping at least 5 people a month, and she does way more than that. She is part of the Morning Meltdown 100 test group, which was like by invite only. She had to like earn her spot, and she hustled her booty off to accomplish that. And yeah, she is just a badass boss babe. So I'm going to turn it over to Maddie. She is going to share with us her story, how she became a coach, what she's accomplished so far, how she's accomplished it, how she's kind of like scheduled out her days to make this work with everything else she has going on, because obviously as a college student, as a student athlete, working, doing internships and all this stuff, she's had so many other things on her plate, but she's just figured it out and made it work. Also, I loved hanging out with her on the cruise. We got to have dance parties with some of the other coaches on this team that were there too, and we just had a blast. So Maddie, take it away, girl.
Thank you so much. I forgot I wasn't muted. Hi. Thank you guys so much for having me. So I'm going to start off talking about my story a little bit, and then I have just some different tips on how to hit Success Club, how you do it as like having 10 million other things, because I don't think a lot of us are full-time that are on this call right now. So how you can multitask and be successful with having 10 million things on your plate, because I can't say no to anything. So if you're in my boat, here you go. So I'm going to share my screen, and I always have to do PDFs because your girl has a squirrel brain and I can't focus, and I just get so excited, and then I'm like, where's my train of thought? So let's do this thing. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story just so you can relate to me first, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, what has she got to tell me? So if you see this photo on the left, it's just crazy to me because in this photo right here, I was a college athlete. This was the end of my freshman year. So I came into my freshman year to play volleyball, and I was like, I never look at the scale to tell me my worth or anything, but I came in at 150, and I was CrossFit junkie, working out all the time, felt so good, because also my mom was cooking for me, so that always helps, right? And so I never had to cook for myself. I wasn't eating in a dining hall. I just didn't know anything about nutrition, but my mom always just fed me so well because I was constantly burning energy. I was a 3-sport varsity athlete. I played like basketball, volleyball, softball year round. So I never had to worry about those things. And so being on the road as a college athlete, you're eating Subway, usually about 3 times a week. And then maybe you're getting some teriyaki chicken and white rice, and that's about it. Like, that's literally all we ate. And so you're sitting on these bus trips for 7 to 9 hours, going to Idaho, Montana, Alaska, all these places. And so I just consumed because that's what everyone was doing. That's how time goes by quicker when you got snacks in your hand. And so I was like, well, I'm doing triple days in the fall, and we had like double practices. We lifted 4 days a week with a collegiate lifting coach who had like max weights for every single person. Like, your plan was specific to you. You would think they had us in our best interest. And so, but their goals were just to get us stronger and bulk and be able to jump higher and all those things. Sorry, someone unmuted. And so I continuously got stronger, but if you can tell, I gained 30 pounds in my freshman year. And to me, this was devastating. And I just didn't even know where to go with my, like, what to do. And so that summer I went home and I would lose 10 pounds because I wasn't eating all the junk food. And then I got back to school and the same cycle happened again my sophomore year. And they always told you, like, oh, you're just gaining muscle. Like, muscle weighs more than fat and all those things. And it's not true. You know how you feel in your own skin. And so I knew I needed something different. And so going into my junior year, like, you know, upperclassmen, I'm like, things were starting to fly or something. I don't know. I saw my coach get back from Summit and she had like a spark lit under her ass. And she was like, dude, you should do this with me. And I was like, do what? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, try this 14-day clean eating plan. You can do a 14-day free trial of 21-day fix. And so I did 21-day fix and I got in the best, like, I was just like, what? 12 pounds in 21 days just from eating good food. I was still in triple days at this time. So my roommates were like, how do you have energy to work out right now? Like, we just had double practice and a lifting session. And I'm like, because I don't feel how I should feel as a college athlete. I knew there was more than just what we were doing out there. And so I added one more thing to my plate. This was just the beginning of doing that. Because at this time I didn't have another job. I was just a full-time athlete because my mom was like, I want you to focus on school. And so at this point I was starting to figure out that there was more to my journey than just volleyball. And so I said yes to trying this thing and it worked out. And then I was like that wishy-washy customer that just wouldn't commit for 2 months. So this was back in August. I didn't become a coach until October. And I only said yes to the coaching thing because, one, I knew I was going to, like, return it in 30 days because I didn't have money to spend on $160. I was like, heck no, I'm a college student, whatever. And my mom was like, do not do that. Like, my mom was like, do not spend the money. And I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm not going to do it. And then I got, like, and then I was like, I'm going to say, bye, Mom. And so I did it. And I did 21-day fix again. And I continuously just saw huge results. And I was like, what? And so my coach, she's younger than me. I think she's 21 now, but at the time I think she was 19, and she didn't know what she was doing at all. Like, she had gone to Summit because her mother-in-law was like, come with me, I'll pay for you. So she went to Summit. She didn't do, like, she wasn't in it because she needed the income. She didn't have a strong why. And so she didn't really know how to teach me. So it took me 3 months, you guys, to sell one challenge pack, and that one challenge pack was to my mother. It took me 3 months to convince my own mom to do this. So obviously my mindset was like, well, I'm not very good at this if it takes me 3 months to get my mom to join me. And so I just didn't even know what personal development was. I didn't know the ranks. I didn't know Emerald. So we're all so blessed to have amazing coaches that tell us these things. But if you're someone that struggled in the beginning and you're like, oh my God, took me so long to hit Success Club. Guys, it took me 4 months to hit Success Club. And so my turning point was in January of 2018, the beginning of the year. My coach, Melissa Gallimay, if you guys know her, she's like my upline, like great grandma. But she's someone that's took me under her wing. And she was like, go to a Super Saturday. And I was like, what the heck is that? And she's like, it's in Portland. I already looked it up for you. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive. I Google mapped it for you, but you need to get there. And I was like, ooh, I didn't know what it was. And so I'm just telling you, get to your butt to a live event. It changes your life. So I sat next to a lady who was a 2-star diamond coach, and I was like, hey, this is my first time. Like, what does this mean? I see this cruise ship coming on. I'm like, what is that? And she was like, oh, it's the Success Club trip. If you hit Success Club, you get to go on that. And I was like, that sounds like a gimmick. Like, coming from a coach that's signed up one person and that's her mom. I'm like, that seems like only the top of the top get to go there. But I was like, how do you do it? And she's like, so if you help 3 people in January, that's your first step. And then you continuously do that every single month. And you could be on that ship next year in 2019. Well, also, it's the beginning of 2018. So I'm like, 2019, that's so far away. Well, that was my why in the beginning. I had it on my Beachbody goal list. If you guys like see my wall, it's like post it everywhere. That's how I think. I just like to remind myself of everything. And so one of my goals was to be on a Success Club trip. Didn't know how it worked, but I was like, I'm just going to show up every single day to make it happen. And that's just kind of how coaching got started for me. And so it took me 6 months to go Emerald. It took me a year to go Diamond. So your life does not depend on a timeline. It'll happen when it happens. You just have to do those actions. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this presentation, but also a little bit about me. This is my boyfriend on the right. He got to come on the ship with me. His name is Nick. We're in a long distance relationship. For this past year, we met at school. And I'm moving down to Arizona to be with him in like a month and a half, and I'm so excited once I graduate. And my why now is so I can go full time and not have to get a job when I move to Arizona. Hell yeah. And then this is my little Oregon team. So these are my coaches that are in Oregon. We just went to Super Saturday in April. And this is Angie. She's another Diesel Nation. She's a badass. I love her. And she lives in Portland too. And so the funny thing to me is that every single one of these coaches in this photo joined me in 2019. All of my coaches that got me to Emerald, so my first 2 coaches and the 2 after that, never worked the business, never showed up, aren't in my life at all, but they're just still discount coaches. The people that got me to Diamond somewhat show up. Maybe one of them is like an Emerald, and that's like the only one. But these are my rock stars, you guys. These are my girls that signed up this year. This one hit Success Club. She's coming to Indy. This one's coming to Indy. This one has 6 coaches now. Like, it's crazy that when you start to develop this mindset, like, I don't even flinch when I say it, but like, I'm going to be a 5-star Diamond coach by the end of the year. Like, I just know it's going to happen because of my mindset and the daily actions I take. That trickles into your downline. And so I'm going to talk about that too, is that confidence and mindset you have, even if you haven't achieved it yet, your coaches are going to feel that and they're going to run with you. My coaches in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I didn't know like how to teach them. I didn't have a welcome email. I didn't have any of those things. And so it's harder for them to get started. But if you nurture and connect with people, you're going to have such an easier time. So here we go. These are my tips of how I had to sacrifice a lot of things, you guys. I had to sacrifice going to parties 3 times a week because that's what you do as a college student. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I had to decide that I'm only going to go out once a week because I want to build this and make it my why is so much stronger than making some memories that I miss out because we're drunk and we don't even remember it the next day. Like, I had to sacrifice some time and not go out and have dinner with my roommates every single night of the week and just realize that I need to build my dreams in this little bedroom of mine and get up at 5:30 in the morning and work out and then do the actions so that I can show up to my internship at 7 a.m. and then work there until noon until I have class. And like, I had to learn how to build this in pockets of time. And when I go over the tracker and my non-negotiables, I don't do those one time a day. It's throughout the entire day. I have to find the pockets because I don't have this 5-hour span where I could just sit down and do everything. You have to be able to be flexible and make sure you get it done, but sometimes you have to give yourself some grace. And so that's where at the beginning I was like so hard on myself. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do this today. But your life's not going to end. You just have to give yourself some grace. And so I always create a marketing strategy. It's the beginning of the month. So yesterday my challenge group kicked off. That was May 6th. And then May 9th, which is this Thursday, I'm starting my coach sneak peek. And so something I didn't do for so long is make a clear plan. I was inviting to different things all the time. So my followers didn't know what the heck I was talking about. So I'd send them an invite and be like, hey, are you interested in what my story says or something stupid? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? So if anyone ever asks you, what are you talking about or what are you inviting to, you're doing something wrong and you got to get more clear on what you're inviting to. Because if one day you're talking about coaching invites and then you're doing boot camp invites and you're all over the board, you're going to have a harder time hitting Success Club early than if you just stick to one for a whole week and then maybe the next week you transition to the other. And that's how I run my business. So I always run a boot camp at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. And in there, I do coaching if there's like an off week. So now I'm talking about coaching all the time because my goal each month is to recruit 10 new girls onto my team. And I continuously make it happen because I hit Success Club 6 with challengers that first week into my boot camp. And then I just focus on coaches. And then towards the end of the month, I'm talking about my boot camps again. That's just how I structure mine. Everyone does that a little bit differently, but getting clear on what your strategy is and what you need to have happen. And so something I had to get real with myself is that if you want to level up and become diamond and become star diamond, actually have a full-time income or whatever income you need or to be able to pay off debt or whatever it is, we have to invite to coaching. That is where the money making is happening. It's not happening with subscription orders or just challengers and loving on them. I know some of us are people pleasers and we love to help people and love that success story, and that's great, but you have to have a mix of both. You have to have the challengers, but you have to have the coaches. And if you love on those challengers, they will become your coaches, and those make the best coaches ever. The girls that already have results, they fully believe in it, and then they come into coaching. It's so freaking awesome. And so when I first started doing this and hosting sneak peeks on my own is when I hit Diamond back in October of 2018, this past October. I was in a Push to Diamond group with Lindsay Matway and Christina and stuff, and they were saying you need to send these invites. And when Lindsay Matway tells you to like do something, like, you're crazy if you don't. And so I was like, okay, I'll send 50 coaching invites. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? Well, back then I had 12 personally sponsored coaches. And then fast forward into May of this year, right now, this month, I have 62 personally sponsored coaches because I made this switch of inviting to just challenge groups and then hoping they sign up as a coach to inviting to the coach opportunity. If you see that rock star and you're like, you would make an amazing asset to my team, ask them. What is the worst thing they say? No? And then you're like, well, maybe you can just start out as a challenger, get great results, and then maybe down the road it'd be a better option for you. So leading with a coach invite is 10 times out of 10 so much better than if you're too scared to actually do it. So just try inviting to coaching more than when we're just talking about our boot camps. Does that make sense? Because that's going to help you level up. So here are my non-negotiables. If you look at this list, you're going to be like, Maddie, that's the Success Club tracker. And it's basically exactly the same. Because if you look at that tracker, it has everything we need. It literally lays it out for you. And I wish I had that as a new coach. Because when I became a new coach, I didn't know what direction I was supposed to go in, what I was supposed to do. So I use this tracker now. I use this tracker 19 months into this business. These are the same things I do every day. And what I love about it is that me and my coaches at our Emerald, so our Push to Diamond group, we have a little text thread. So we don't use Facebook Messenger because sometimes those just go, people like just don't see it. Or our Facebook group, there's so many Facebook groups. So we actually use like iMessage text thread. And every day we post our trackers in there because if I see 3 of my personally sponsored coaches do it and I haven't done my invites today, you bet your ass I'm getting on my phone and sending my invites. And so if you want your coaches to do it, you have to do it too. I found that out in April that I was like, come on guys, do your tracker. No one was doing it. And as soon as I started posting it in this message, they started posting it too. So it runs through your downline. What you do as a coach sets you up for success. And so I love to attach this tracker, non-negotiable tracker, in my coach email when I welcome them onto the team. So that's the first thing they see. So if anything else, they're going to find that this tracker is what they need to be doing, and they just start doing the daily tasks. Maybe they're not able to check everything off because recognition is hard when you're a new coach. You're like, who the heck do I recognize? Myself? Like, I'm showing up. That was the one that I had the really hard time talking about. But you'll find that once you get maybe 1 or 2 people and you start recognizing them, or even recognizing your upline or someone that you really like, that you like to follow and they're killing it and they just give you inspiration, just finding those things. And so even if your new coaches have a hard time doing everything on that tracker, at least they have a guideline of what they need to do. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. So I always message my new followers. Something I do, I always follow 100 people a day. At bare minimum, you guys. Like 100 people. And what I use is Captivate. People ask me this all the time. What do you use? Captivate and Cleaner is how I do followers and unfollow people. There was a time where people were like, oh my God, it's shutting down my account, but it's back and working. I went through like a 4-month period where I didn't use it, but now I'm using it again. I've gained so much traction. And what I do is I go to someone that's joined my boot camp or a friend of a friend, and then I go to their last photo they posted or a photo that has a lot of likes. And then I go to the people that liked that photo, and then I follow those people. Because I used to go to their followers, but sometimes their followers are famous people, and you get all this mishmash, and so you're not really following people that are engaging in their posts. So maybe if they're engaging in their posts, they'll engage in your stuff. So that's how I pick and choose who I follow. But it takes me max 7 minutes. I timed myself this morning. 7 minutes to follow 100, 150 to 200 people. So you can make it happen quickly. And that's something I do right when I wake up. I turn my PD on, and then I go and follow people because I can lay in bed and my eyes can be like half open and I can do it quickly. And then I get my butt up and I drink my Energize, and I show that to the people, because being consistent in what you do every single day is going to help your followers like decide that they want to be your friend a little bit. So I always do a Triller, dancing to my Energize. Even though my dance moves suck, I still do it every day, and maybe one day I'll be like Nicole and I can shuffle, but for now that's not happening. I'm trying. At least I'm in that Facebook group. I mean, that's the first step, right? And then, so I always send, talking about invites. Invites are the key. Monday through Tuesday, so 2 days a week, I always send 62 invites. That's my goal. And then Wednesday through Friday, I average about 50 a day. So that's what, like, on average, I'm sending 50 invites a day, because you know success is in the numbers. Everything matters. The amount of people you follow matter, because if you're talking to the same people every day and they're not interested right now, you can't get stagnant on that. You've got to go find someone else. And that's where I struggled. I was always on the defense, just trying to get myself to Success Club at the end of the month. But I know I can hit Success Club 6 by the 6th. And I know I can hit Success Club 10 by the 10th. So you've got to be on the offense, get it done early, and then the rest is just numbers. And it's talking to people and connecting and setting yourself up for the next month. So getting it done super early, super fast in the beginning of the month is why I set my boot camp in the first week of the month. You get it done so much quicker. And then I always check into my team page, your challenge group, and your back office, but don't just check off the box to check off the box. Do it with intention. For so long, I was like, oh, I just did it. Like, here we go. But I wasn't actually loving on my challenge group people. And I was like, people say that they turn into coaches, and none of mine were turning into coaches. It's because I wasn't actually helping them get results. So once you help your girls get results, it is such a game changer. And you can use those, and you can post them on your Instagram, and people are like, oh my God, they're so happy that they get to see them on your Instagram in front of all those people and all your followers. And then drink your shake and you work out. Obviously, those are on the trackers, non-negotiables, be a product of the product. And you just got to lead from the front. So what you do now, it is going to trickle into your downline and your future downline and the team that you are trying to grow, because maybe you don't have this huge team right now. Maybe you're not a diamond coach or whatever you're at. It matters now that you set this tone for when they do come. And so here are some invites. I like to put these out there because people are like, what do you say? Like, people are always so nervous. So you can take a picture of this if you want. But my coaching invite and my challenge group invite look super, super similar, and they're super simple. I say, hey, thanks for liking my post, or hey, thanks for following my page. I hope it brings you some inspiration, or it means the world to me. Are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? Always, always end your invite in a question. Because if it's just a statement like, have you ever thought about getting, or that's a question too. I don't know. If you're ending it and just like, it's so amazing, then people just won't reply. Like, people need to be engaged and asked a question so they continuously talk to you more. So if someone says, no, I'm not on a fitness journey of my own, you say, you should think about joining one of my accountability groups. And then they go, what's an accountability group? Ting, brings you to the next step. And then you just continue to make that conversation. But if they do say, yes, I'm actually on my own health and wellness journey, you go, that is awesome. What kind of plan do you follow? And then they tell you, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but how is it working for you? Because people could say that they're doing Orange Theory and they're paying $180 a month, but they're not seeing any results. I have a girl that's doing Orange Theory and in my challenge group now, because she was like, I wasn't seeing anything. I was plateauing, and now she's seeing a huge change. So you just have to ask them how their plan is working and dig a little deeper. It's not being rude. It's not like trying to bash their program. But if someone says like, oh my gosh, I love where my fitness program is, I blah, 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 ask them to be a coach. You could say, girl, that is awesome. You need to be doing what I'm doing. Have you ever thought about online coaching? Oh my God, super, super easy, you guys. But we always are so scared of it. We're so scared that someone's going to be like, I don't want to do that. That's network marketing, blah, blah, blah. And so we just psych ourselves out about things, and it's just go for it. Like, literally go for no. Go for no. I was taught that really early on, and I love objections. Like, I feel like I'm an objection ninja sometimes, where I'm like, send me anything that you want to tell me that you can't do this, and I'm going to send you a response of why you can. And usually when I go into objections, I turn on voice message or a video and I send my objection using my voice and my tone and my excitement, because then they realize I'm a real person. Or if I send a video, they're like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. She's not just like a robot responding. And it takes it to a next level. Even if they're still going to say no, they know that you care and that you're still there for them. And I will invite people until they unfollow me and delete me and block me. Like, I don't give a crap if I've invited you for like a year. I'm still going to invite you until I can't invite you and it won't let me. So don't be scared of that. And usually I invite people like once a month. Like, some people are like, oh, I wait 6 months. Like, I invite everybody to every boot camp. If you're still liking and watching my stuff, you're getting an invite. So here's a little bit of a connection and flow conversation. So once they say, oh, like that accountability group sounds great, what is it about? I ask them to share their goals with me. So they can either fill out the application in my bio, or I'll just be like, hey, what are your goals? Like, what would you want out of this? And just getting to know them at a more personal level, but sticking to the script a little bit. Sometimes we get on these tangents and then we're taking too much time getting to know every little bit of our challengers, and then we're wasting time and we're not talking to other people. So you want to show that you care and that you're connecting, but it's okay to use a script, you guys. It's okay to send the same invite to 62 people and then personalize from there. So many people want to send a personal invite to each person, and you're wasting time. There's people like me and there's people like Kate Schultz who are sending all these invites, and they're taking the people away from you if you're spending all that time sending a super long invite. Go quickly and then connect from there. That is what I've done like from now on, and it's made it so much easier to work in those pockets of time, because I'm not wasting hours and hours trying to send my invites and then thinking, oh my God, now I have to go follow up and reply to all those people. Just do it quickly and it's going to save you some time. Here's a super simple, when people are like, oh, give me the details. This is one of my things that's like not specific on a program. And it kind of gives you all the information. It gives you the price. It gives you about the challenge tracker. It gives you a little bit of everything. I'm not going to read it because it's kind of long, but you can take a picture of it and you can read it later. But it just gives you all of the things in a one short email, because as a new coach, I didn't know everything. And so I would word vomit everything I did know. And people were like, oh my God, like, please don't talk to me. You're scaring me. Like, there's too much. So I like to try and keep it a little more simple, a little more readable. But I do transition from direct message in the email, so I have an easier way to follow up with people. And then this is my VIP loyalty program, whatever you guys want to call it, discount coach kind of script. So when people give me the objection that it's too expensive, oh, sweet. All right, cool. If they give me that objection that it's too expensive, I just say, hey, would you ever consider coaching? Because if you help 3 people in your first month, you get to pay back that investment, and then you break even, and everything else is profit, and you can choose to do your products, whatever. It's kind of a discount coach, kind of working the business, and just opening up that idea to them that it doesn't have to be super expensive. Or if you're in a crunch to hit diamond or to hit a new rank, I will sign everybody up as coaches. I know Monica's team had a lot of questions on this, so you guys can ask me whatever you want, but I will just add the coach thing into their cart so they can choose to either take it out of their cart or leave it in there. But I send them this invite or this email. So I take the link that they, like, you know, once you do a share cart and you take the link, I put it into an email after it says XOXO Maddie. And it tells you, like, I'm doing this, girl, because I want to give you the best of the best. You get there's a $15 fee, but you're also getting 25% off. And it just explains everything, where it's like, I have you in my best interest. You're getting a discount and you don't have to stay with it. There's no obligation to stay as a coach, but 9 times out of 10, everybody signs up like this when I do it, because I've only had 2 people ever tell me like they really don't want to do coaching and they can just take it out of their cart. But to get my butt to diamond, I would do this every single day. If I'm going to hit Success Club 6, I might as well have 3 new coaches on my team. Or if I want that $100 bonus and signing 5 coaches up in 5 weeks, you bet your butt I'm going to do this. Like, it's not mean, and it's not like, oh my God, I'm trying to be like selfish, because some people are like, oh, like, that's weird if you're not telling them. I'm telling them everything. They're the ones that say yes, you know, like, it tells you that when you do your thing. But one thing Monica did ask me was, do you do this for every single person? honestly, it depends. So I usually do it more when I'm in a crunch to hit a new rank, or I need some new active coaches, or I'm like one away from getting that bonus, I'll do it. But if it's the coach that I know has a lot of potential and I don't want to waste success starters with them, I won't do it. So it kind of really depends on that person specifically, or if it's someone that's like super wishy-washy and I'm finally getting them to sign up and I'm scared that this is going to scare them away, I won't do it. So it really kind of depends on the person. But if you're trying super hard to get to diamond and you're a couple coaches away from the 8, do this. It will work, and people aren't going to be like freaking out at you. I promise. So this has really changed my business. I got introduced to this back in January from Ashley Feldison, and it's gold. It really does work. And Nick's now 1 emerald away from going diamond. So I show up for myself, you guys, every single day. Like, it doesn't matter what my team's doing or whatever. Like, I have to show up with my personal development. I have to get my workout in, and then I go and check on everything else. Because if you are constantly just trying to handhold every single person, and you say you go to the Bahamas and you don't have service, your business is going to fall apart, because you're just attracting followers and they depend on you. So you have to show up for yourself, and then make coaches strong leaders. We enable ourselves way too often. We let ourselves get attached to our phone and feel like we have to reply to people so quickly, and they're not going to leave you. Like, make them figure it out on their own. For so long, I'd like quickly like reply back the answer because I was so excited that I knew it, because as a new coach, I had to Google everything, and I used to watch team calls of other coaches, and that's how I learned. But making them go and Google it, give them a couple hours to figure it out. And then if they still don't figure it out, 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, oh, I actually got the answer. But if they don't, then you can go and like tell them, oh, if you look at this team call, I talked about it, but the answer is blah, blah, blah. So don't enable now, because it's just going to keep trickling down. So if you are a strong leader and you're creating strong leaders, it's going to come into your downline. But don't wait for someone to light a fire under your ass to always hit Success Club. Success Club has to just happen, you guys. Like, it can't be, oh, I'm so excited I got Success Club 6. Like, yeah, that's great your first month, but next month you got to get Success Club 8. You got to go for 10. Like, I'm mad at myself right now because in February I hit Success Club 40 and I haven't done it since. And I don't want people to be like, oh, it's a fluke. She got in the Morning Meltdown 100 group. She just got lucky in February. Like, it can't be like luck that you're hitting Success Club. It has to be a business, and it has to be that's how you're going to move yourself forward. No one forces you to be here. No one's forcing you to stay a Beachbody coach. You are on this call because you want something bigger than where you're at right now in life. And so you have to show your worth. You have to show, like, in this picture, you guys, I wasn't even an Emerald coach, but that power stance, people were like, who the heck is that girl? And that month is when I did go Emerald. That was the beginning of April. And that month I signed 5 coaches. Just because I finished 80-Day Obsession, I finished my first program, had rockin' results. I obviously felt freaking badass, and I took some photos with a photographer, posted that I'm accepting applications on my team, and I signed 5 coaches. I hadn't even signed 1 before, and I signed 5 in the same month. So that is the mindset where I was talking about it. Like, I have this mindset that I'm already a 5-star diamond. Like, I feel like I'm already in these other things. Like, I'm one of the youngest girls that are in Diesel Nation, like our wall and like our other leader groups. And I'm the youngest by I don't know, like 5 years at least, but I don't act like it. I don't act like I'm so like, oh, like here I am just trying to wiggle it out. Like, I want to fit in and I want to do the things. And so that comes with mindset. You've got to believe that you are already stronger than what you actually are ranked as. Like, if you look, I'm technically still a diamond. I'm in 1-star qual, but I don't act like it. People are like, oh my God, what rank are you? And I'm like, still technically a diamond, but you just don't act like that. You have to act like what you want to happen, because that's what people get attracted to. They're not attracted to, well, maybe you should join my boot camp, or my team's just getting started. Like, act like you have a killer team already. If you're Emerald, shout that out. Like, you already rank advanced. People don't need to know how hard it was or how easy it was to get to that rank. They don't need to know that, but you rank advanced, girlfriend. That's huge. Or you're adding people to your team. Shout them out on your story all the time. It doesn't matter. People don't actually know the logistics until you're here, but act confident as hell, because it's only going to benefit you. Am I out of time? Do I have like a certain amount of time left? Okay, cool. I'll try and be quick. So I want you guys to right now to put in the chat, and I'm going to read them. What is your why? Like, your why has to be like so strong, because if your why is kind of like kind of wishy-washy, when things get tough, you're going to be like, well, bye everyone. See you later. This isn't for me. But like, I'm going to read these, so you guys better put them in here. I don't see anyone's why yet. I'm going to keep chatting while I see them. But put your whys in here right now, because you're not going to waste your time inviting strangers and getting no's if your why is not strong enough. Why would you do that? That's a waste of our time. I'm going to leave you with this analogy. Actually, there's a few more things. But this one analogy I've been hearing lately, and I'm like obsessed with it. So say there's 5,000 Dixie cups, 5,000 little Dixie cups. And under those 5,000 Dixie cups, there is 5 diamonds in there. Because that's all you need to go 5-star. You only need 5 coaches. 5 rock stars, but 5 coaches. So under there is 5 diamonds. And you're going through, and you're like halfway through, like you're 2,500 Dixie cups through, and you still haven't found a diamond. Is your why strong enough to make you keep going? Are you going to keep going for all of those diamonds? Or are you going to be like, well, it's been tough. I'm like, I'll just like kind of do what I'm doing right now and hope it works. Or are you going to stay through it and you get to the last 5 of those 5,000 Dixie cups and you finally find the diamonds? And that's what I mean when your timeline of success doesn't have a date. That's the thing, is that you could find those 5 diamonds in the first 5,000 you look at, or you could find them spread out through the 5,000, or they could be in the last 5,000. You just don't know. And so you have to have the why strong enough to make you keep going when things get tough, or when you're like, oh my God, I'm at Success Club 4 and it's the last day of the month. You have to be strong enough to be like, I'm going to pay to have my mom sign up or someone sign up to hit Success Club. I've been there, but I was never going to let the Success Club trip not happen because I didn't have a why strong enough to hit Success Club 6. You make it happen. You make it happen. You look at Paulina. I don't think she's, how many months in Success Club are you at? Like, a lot. She's never missed a month, you guys. And she's probably had hard months. She's definitely had hard months, but you make it happen. Dude, 70 plus. God, goals. Oh my God. You're amazing. But you have to have a why that is strong enough. And so, I'm going to skip this slide. I don't want that one. So this is something I think a lot of new coaches see, is that there is abundance of network marketers. There's abundance of Beachbody coaches. Everyone you feel like you look at, the like fitness is in their bio, and you're like, oh, there's another one I can't talk to. And so we get into this mindset where like, there's too many coaches, or there's no one that's going to sign up with me. And that's the worst mindset you could have. Like, I never, ever, ever think about that, because I'm like, well, obviously people, like, I could literally not show up until the end of the month and I know I could sign 3 people up, because that's how strong my mindset is, that people want to be on my team. Like, people want to be surrounded by me because of my positive energy, and they want to get results because they've seen me do it. So in a world of a million of network marketers around us, be real, be raw, be different, and just be you. You have to be different. You have to show you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and that's not what I'm saying. You could follow. Oh God, that was gross. Sorry, my allergies are really bad. But you could be following other coaches and you see an awesome Instagram story from Unfold and you're like, those are really good. You put your own photos and your own spin on it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you have to be you. You can't just copy and paste someone else's post. That's not, people can tell. They can tell that you're not passionate about it because it's not your passion. It's not your goals or anything like that. I used to do that all the time. I look at Amy Rada. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't perfect. I'm going to retype this out. And literally I was like, no traction. Because people could tell, like, I'm not Amy Rada. Like, I don't have a dog and I don't have a fiance and I don't have those things. And so you have to relate it back to yourself and be you. And that's when I say use voice message. Use voice message all the time to show your passion. Me and Paulina send voice messages to each other, 1, because we're lazy, but 2, I just love hearing her voice. Like, it makes me so pumped up when she tells me something. I'm like, heck yeah! Like, when she tells me to be on this call, I was like so excited, and it meant so much more that she sent me a voice message than if she just texted me like, want to be on my call. Like, that just shows, like, that's like, want to be in my challenge group. You don't really care that much. But if someone's like, hey girl, I really think this boot camp is the best one for you. It's only 21 days, 30 minutes. Like talking like that in a voice message, that's going to get to someone so much quicker than a copy and paste sometimes. So when I do my follow-ups is when I send more voice messages than when I do an initial invite. That's just how I roll. That's how I do it. And so I want you guys right now, I know only Paulina wrote in here, but if you guys could put in the chat too, this is the second thing, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with is, what would you say if you could tell your younger self just one thing? Put it in there. I'm going to stop talking because I want you guys to actually write in here. I don't know why to go away. Oh, I'm going to put mine in there too. So then maybe you guys will do it too. Don't be scared. Let's see. Yes, stop being so afraid to be yourself. Just get out of that damn comfort zone. Yup. Stop caring what other people think of you, right? Like literally, that is my thing. I wish I could stop caring what other people think about me. And raise your hand if you sometimes still feel the way that you do in what you just typed. I still care sometimes what people think about me when I send an invite. But that's one thing we want to tell our old self. So let's continue to tell our new self those things all the time. And so that is on a Post-it note right there on my wall. Is stop letting people control your invites or control what you say to them or control what you think about yourself. Stop getting into that negative mindset or those things that we just are like so concerned when we're sending invites. We always overthink it, and just be yourself. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's what I want you guys to take away is be yourself. Do you, girlfriend. Like, honestly, just do what you feel is right when you're sending an invite. And I really want you guys to send invites. That's why I said it like 10 times, because like I'm going to say right now, if you listen to these calls and you're listening to all these things, 5% of your success, just 5%, is the training and the learning. 95% of your success is action. 95%. That is a lot of things that you need to get done in action, and only 5% is really knowing. And so when they say you're a new coach and you're jumping in, you just got to push yourself off the ledge and do it. You'll learn and fail as you go, but if you're just constantly listening to the calls and you're just trying to get all the information before you start, you're never going to be as successful as the girl that next to you that just freaking went in and did it. So just jump and go for it. That's all, right? So you've got to work hard and freaking do it. Action is everything. All right. That is all I got for ya.
Girl, you just gave me life. Thank you so much. I took a bunch of notes, and yeah, like, you're amazing. I do have some questions, and if anyone else has some questions, we can open it up. But how do you stay so like high vibe and in such great energy? Because of course, like, you know, some days are harder than others. We wake up in a bad mood, something goes wrong. Like, how do you just keep that mindset right? Like, or what kind of personal development do you do? Any other types of like tricks that you just like put yourself into that state? Because obviously your energy is super attractive. Like, you know, you show up confident as hell, and like people just want to be surrounded by you, and that is important. So what do you do? Give us some tips.
Okay. So like, it'd be funny if I lied. I would not gonna lie to you guys and say that I wasn't always like this. Like, even yesterday morning, I took my morning meltdown 150-day photos, and I didn't see a big difference. And I was like really upset with myself because it's all nutrition. It's all things I know I can control. And that's the thing, is that you have total control of what attitude you show up with. I'm not joking. Before this, even this call, I was sitting there in my bed and I'm like, I feel like crap. I've been up. I'm so tired. I have a chem test tomorrow. I have all these things going on, but that will just bring you down. What is that going to help? Like, that's not helping anything. And so I do some personal development. I didn't do it for a long time. And that's when, like, if a coach quit, I literally would tell Nick, don't talk to me. Like, I would get so upset, and it was so personal to me. Like, it was so like a slap in the face. Like, I did something wrong. And then I started tuning into personal development and listening to like Keith Callahan tell me that you could recruit 500 coaches, and out of the 500, maybe 25 work. And out of the 25, you'll maybe have 3 girls that are leaders out of 500, you guys. So that just makes me want to go do more action. that just makes me want to go invite more because, you know, like it's not going to be those first 5 diamonds that are going to be your first coaches and everything. So for me, it's just like my why is so strong. And when I get down on myself, I had really bad anxiety like before I started Beachbody. And like, it's funny because like the month I started Beachbody is the month I met Nick. And I've never had a relationship with anyone the way I have a relationship with Nick. And I think it's just that confidence of I'm working on myself first so I can be the best me. And you have to do that. If you are totally giving, you're gonna be beat up and you're gonna get drained and you're gonna get burned out. And if you're doing the wrong actions, you're gonna get burned out. So just sticking to having business hours, doing the little things, that's super important.
I love that. So Ashley asked, what do you say to people who give you price objections? And I'm sure you have plenty of people who give you price objections, like being in college, being young, like, and everybody's always like, oh, I don't have money for that. So what do you do? What do you say?
Well, I have a few different things. So one, I say the other thing where I'm like, hey, well, would you ever consider being a coach? Because if you help 3 people, but with my training, you could hit Success Club. Or I don't say Success Club, but I'm like, you could help 3 people and pay back your initial investment. So that's one way I do it. Another way is I use the feel, felt, found method. I don't know if you guys ever heard that, but I go, girl, I feel you. I totally felt the same exact way. Like as a college student, I didn't have a bunch of money, but I found that if I saved for 2 months and I just put that money away and just didn't go and eat out for those 2 months, I was able to invest and just get started. And it's been the biggest blessing in my life. And that's what I talk about. It's like, I didn't obviously just have $160. Like you're going to find people that sometimes can throw money at you and they're like ready right when you invite them, but it doesn't happen often. And so being able to ask people like, how are you going to save for this? Or is there any way you could pick up an extra shift at work and make it happen? Because I know you want to, like telling them that they want to, even though they didn't say that. I was like, I know you want to, so let's find a way that's going to make it work in a game plan. That's kind of how I do price objection.
I love that. How do you stay organized? So like, how are you tracking your invites? Are you writing down everybody's name, or are you just kind of like doing like a little tally? Because that's always like, you know, everyone's thing. Like, I don't know how the heck to keep track of everyone and everything.
So that has definitely evolved. I at one point was like, I'm going to use an Excel spreadsheet, and I did it super nicely, and that lasted about a month. And then I was like, I'm going to use the app Asana. I don't know if you guys ever used that one. And honestly, that one's probably been one of my favorites, but I also haven't used it in a while. Like, I kind of go through phases, because if I get bored of whatever I'm using, then I won't do it at all. And so I kind of have to change things up for myself to stay healthy. Like, I don't know, some people like are consistently with the same thing and they have success with that. But for me, like, I honestly like paper method. So I'll send my invites and I just write down everybody's name that I invited that day. So one, it helps me actually count how many I'm doing, because for so long I thought I was doing 50 and I was only doing like 25. So I was doing half of what I thought because it felt like it was taking so long, but I wasn't actually counting how many I did. So once they reply back to my invite, I highlight their name on the paper on my iPad. You can do it both ways. And that way I know that either they were interested, or I kind of write down a little note about it. But then once I get someone's email and I send them info, I add them to Google Streak. I really recommend Google Streak. It's super easy to send out mass invites or follow-ups or whatever with that crew. And I think that helps me stay organized, like with my coaching, and then even like with a boot camp. So once I have people get started in a boot camp, I add them to, like, I don't know if you guys have ever used Google Streak, but you can add them to like a specific titled group. And so like everyone in my boot camp is in that one for who's ever in the tracker. And so I can just send them out a mass invite or like a mass follow-up saying like, hey, send me your 2-week whatever results or a non-scale victory or something like that. So they know that I'm like keeping tabs on them, but I don't necessarily have to text each one individually and ask them for a photo. So that helps save time being organized with your challengers, but also with inviting, having them on there. Even then I kind of write like either like free lead or they wanted info on Transform 20, or I kind of like write little things in the notes section.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tips. And does anyone else have any other questions? If not, I'm going to ask one more and then we'll jump off, because you said you have a test tomorrow, so you got to go steady. How do you deal with like perceived failure?
Like, what if I fail?
Like, yeah, like if you like missed a goal or you didn't hit a specific like milestone yet, like how do you deal with that?
Do you know how many goals I've missed?
Thank you. That's the answer I'm looking for.
Like my goal was to hit 2-star by cruise, and I'm still at 1-star qual. And then my goal was to hit 5-star by summit, and I'm still at 1-star qual. Like, things are going to happen when they happen, but if you're not doing the actions, then what do you expect to happen? So I have my Beachbody goals list, and sometimes I don't write an exact date when it's supposed to happen, because you can't date everything in your life. Like, it's going to happen organically. And so I got into this mindset where like, oh my God, it has to happen here. And that brought back my anxiety that I tried to get rid of when I started this journey. And so I had to like realize that it's going to happen if you're doing the action. And so when I like was trying to hit 1-star qual back in November for like hitting NICS so I can go to, what's it called, New Leaders Conference, I literally woke up on Thanksgiving crying because I didn't know I was supposed to have 10 active coaches and I only had 8. And I literally was crying because of this goal that I missed. And I realized, you guys, this, like, I know people always say, like, if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. And I say this to my coaches all the time, but I got into this because I wanted it to be fun. I wanted to have a fun community. I wanted this to be a fun job. I didn't want it to be that stressful thing where I have to go into this job and hope I hit those goals and those benchmarks and stuff. Like, make it sure it's still fun every single day. Yeah, there's crunch times when it comes to qualification. It can get stressful, but have a laugh, have fun, jump on a call with your team and just enjoy the good things and find something positive in everything you're doing. Because if you're constantly negative and constantly like, oh, I still haven't hit diamond, or I still haven't hit diamond, you guys, my coach was like, oh, Maddie, like, you should hit emerald. And I was like, well, you're not telling me how. So I blamed her for so long. And like, I look at coaches and I'm like, it took me a year to hit diamond, but then it also took me 10 days to hit diamond in NICS account. And I would have hit it. I actually did hit it, but I didn't have the active coaches, whatever. But it's like, I did it in a year and I did it in 10 days. So, like, it doesn't have a timeline. You just have to learn the tools as you go, and you'll figure it out. There's no set, like, oh, here is the key to success. Do it. It's different for every single person.
Thank you. And obviously, like, your energy, your work ethic, your sacrifice, your hustle, like, that all shows. And it just is, like, vital to your success and what you've accomplished so far and the way you're leading your team. Because like you said, there's no set deadline or timeline, but if you're not even putting in the daily action consistently, you're never going to hit your goals.
Yeah.
So like, either you sacrifice now and make it happen so that way you can hit those goals and, start knocking off those dreams off your list, like creating that thing for your life, or you're just going to stay stuck. So I think this was a super powerful call. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's something where, like, with failure, it's like I'm doing the actions, and so that's why I feel so confident that it's going to happen. If I wasn't doing the actions and hoping these things, like hitting 5-star and, like, ending top 50 in the company by the end of the year, like, if I was just hoping that those would miraculously happen, like, then I would be pissed at myself for failing because I wasn't doing anything. But, if you're doing the daily actions and you're working your ass off, it's going to happen when it happens.
Hell
That's
yeah, girl.
a really good point.
Yes. Well, thank you. You rock. You will rock that chem test tomorrow too. But yeah, like, I love you, girl. Well, thank you everybody for being on. Yeah, of course. We do.
Photos on.
All right. Everybody ready?
Nope. Turn your cameras on, friends.
Nicole, Rachel, Courtney, Katie. Really fast. 2 seconds.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Ready, set, go. I always throw up the deuces.
Me too. All right, girl. Love you. Have a great night, everybody.
Yep. Have an awesome time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. I will always answer.
You rock, girl. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.